Hey, you guys, it's your favorite little keto goofball Diamond, and boy, do I have a story to tell you. This you might call an episode of Scared Straight. Really scared straight. It's a very confusing episode. I'm not even going to lie to you. You guys know, for those of you who've been around, I've been keto for a long time. And I've been not keto for a long time. Or not fully keto for a long time. Anyway, enough that I have lost 155 pounds, but regained 50 of it in this on and off again battle. So, my fault. But regardless, I will tell you about my horrific hospital visit in which they tried to kill me. Ooh, did they ever? And I'm going to tell you about that day that I don't remember, that I've taken 5 or 6 days since then to process and piece together. And when I tell you my luck has bad luck, and like Zach said, even good luck comes in afterwards. But boy, at first, he was like, what in the world is going on here? So I went all, who are you people and where's my horse the other day without realizing I did it. That's the old George Carlin joke. If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's fine. But scared the hell out of everybody, especially my husband and grandson who were here to witness the initial phase of it. Only thing I remember about that morning, and I'm only telling you this part because it's possibly important. It's possibly really important. I had 4 sausage patties on keto bread. 4. Yes, I did. I was hungry that morning and I did it. So anyway, that could come into play later. Not really sure, but it is a possibility. That being said, other than eating and thinking about getting ready for the day, because I was supposed to take my son somewhere to pick up something because he doesn't have a car big enough for all the kids and his wife is working. I remember getting ready for my day, kind of, sort of, a little bit, not really, at all. You ever lost your memory without having any memory of having lost your memory? Because I did. Oh boy, did I. I vaguely remember telling my husband something wasn't right, but not knowing what it was. I have no memory of what looked wrong, what wasn't right, what didn't feel right. I don't know. So I told him something wasn't right. But apparently I had gotten the shower long enough to get my hair wet anyway. He thinks I may have taken a whole shower because I typically do. And usually when you're in the shower, even if you don't know what you're doing, you probably still know to take a shower. Maybe. But do you know if you've shaved or washed your hair? Or washed her? I don't know. But anyway, apparently my hair was wet when I got to the hospital. And when it was definitely a big old knot in the back of it whenever I was able to get out and comb it. But boy, I had a horrific experience. It was I've said this before, that something was really, really painful, more pain than I've ever been in. But this was the most painful thing I've ever been through in my life. And it wasn't even caused by what was going on. But I didn't know that because I had no memory of it. So anyway, I'd forgotten what I was doing for the day, apparently. My husband and grandson found me in the hallway crying about Jake. I think the reason I was crying about Jake, I don't really know. Jake's fine, by the way, as fine as he's been. Old, though. He's an old dog. The other day, we came in the house and my husband said, honey, I don't think Jake's breathing. And I poked him and he was fine. I was like, he's just really sleeping, okay? He's just really out. But he was fine. But I guess, I don't really know, but the first sign of distress was that I was crying about Jake and he was fine. And then I told my husband, I don't know how I got here. Like, I don't know, maybe in the hallway. No memory of it whatsoever. No memory of not having memory of it. And then I didn't recognize half of the crap in my house. Or I said different words, but I didn't recognize half this. I don't know where it came from. I didn't work on the couch. My cell phone, he said, I didn't recognize it. I had no idea what it was. It's like, picked it up, looked at it, put it down. When I did kind of recognize it, they said that I couldn't get into it. I didn't know the password or how to work it. And my best guess, they said, was the year 2012. Maybe. Maybe the Mayans did reset me after all. I don't really know. But it scared him really bad. So he sent my grandson down to my father and told him what was going on, and he told Corey what was going on. And my husband took me to the hospital really quickly. Now, he says that on the way there, my memory seemed to reset itself every 3 to 5 minutes, just very, sometimes more rapidly, sometimes slower, but 3 to 5 minutes was about the range. And I would ask the same questions over and over again. Where are we going? How do we get here? Why are we in the car? You ran a red light. He'd say, I know. He said by this time he was just very, yeah, I did. He stopped freaking out about me freaking out. Why are we going so fast? We're just driving fast. You ran a stop sign. I know. Where are we going? You'll see. But apparently I was asking everything over and over again. In hindsight, the thought of it is funny. I'm sure in the moment it was horrifying. I couldn't imagine being on the other end of that. Kind of sort of can with my mama, but that's a whole different kind of crazy. So we'll get into that too, because that happened again too. But he took me to the hospital. He said they took me pretty much straight back. He started to sit down with me, and they said, no, come on. They'd called a stroke code because they figured I'd had a stroke. And that's what my husband had told Zach, was that I had either a stroke or a heart attack or something. They didn't know what it was. By the way, neither. Shockingly, right? But they took me straight back. I don't know what all they did. I have no memory of it. He said that there was a neurologist on screen that didn't come in the room, but was on screen that he talked to. And the guy took me through a bunch of questions, paces, asking me this, that, and the other, what I remembered, what I knew. I ain't know apparently. Didn't know who was in the White House. No clue. And at one point I did say, I don't know, but I don't think he's supposed to be there. Kind of proud of that one. And don't come at me for that, because if you don't know, you don't know. But anyway, I had no memory of not having a memory, nothing. By the time I started to come around to my senses, it was about 7 p.m. My husband had told the doctors he'd last seen me normal around noon. But by 2, I was not at all, which is not uncommon. He's in yonder, he's playing his game or watching TV or whatever. And Zach was just chilling, I think he was asleep, actually. I think all of it woke him up. But by the time my memory started coming back by 7 p.m., I had a searing headache. I felt like I was dying, and I just didn't feel good. And I was really, really cold. I mean, just like cold to the bone. And even at this point, the memories were kind of little memories of things, but not the whole thing. I do remember asking twice, where are we? And being told which one we were at. Like, why? Apparently I didn't really know that I had grandkids. Of course, if you flash back to 2012, I didn't. Zach was born in 2014. He's the oldest one. So, but apparently at some point I could remember names and knew whose name was who or whatever, but just everything just gone. It's like my soul jumped up and left for a little while and didn't bother to leave my memory behind. And then she came back. I don't know. But by the time that I was coming to, for a little while I was in pain and I was really cold. And then I started to feel a little bit better, and I started maintaining a little bit more of my memory. And my husband went to get me some food, but they were going to do an MRI, and so I had to wait till after the MRI. So the MRI guy, he was really kind. He was really sweet, really nice man. He was Asian by his accent. I couldn't open my eyes at this point because my head hurt too bad. I don't remember doing anything. I remember being in the hospital bed, going on an elevator. I remember that. I didn't like that at all. Not even a little bit. I don't like being in those things when I'm standing on my own 2 feet, let alone laying on my back with no sight or understanding. I remember vague parts of the MRI, just like covering my eyes and stuff, and him putting, I remember the MRI guy sticking stuff in my ears and around my ears, kind of. I know he was very kind and very polite, and he kept getting me blankets because I was really, really cold. And his breath was bad. Nice guy, not taking nothing away from him, but if you're gonna be leaning over people, maybe pop a little something. I'm not even knocking it, because he was still really, really nice and really, really sweet. I remember the breath. That's one of the things you do remember, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I don't remember getting out of the MRI. I don't remember coming back up to the floor. I do remember eating. I do remember, and I don't have sight memory with a lot of this, okay? I have one sight memory of my husband holding a Burger King bag. I have one sight memory of holding a Whopper that I took the bun off away from. And that's the only time I'd ate, like, since earlier in the day. I don't have a sight memory of Anthony being there, but I know he was there because I remember holding him and hearing his voice. I remember telling my son-in-law to leave that baby alone. They said he was jumping off the bed and stuff and having a good time. I don't know what he was doing, but anyway, apparently his daddy got onto him and I said, you leave that baby alone, which totally sounds like me because I do that. My dad is mowing. He's mowing in February, mid-February. I don't know why he's mowing, but I guess, nah. I mean, the Easter lilies are coming up. Sorry. But, let's see. I remember at some point my husband was leaving and my daughter was going to stay with me. They didn't want to leave me by myself when I'm coming in and out of memory because I wouldn't know what the hell it was, and it would be very terrifying, you know. So my husband wanted to go lay down for a little bit. Zach's over there yawning. And Corey was going to stay with me for a while. I don't remember him leaving or how he left or anything. I just knew he did. I remember Corey being there for me, with me. And I got to tell you, I'm so grateful for Brian and Corey, for Big Brian and Corey, because, yeah, that would be really terrifying to come to and just not have a clue who, what, when, where, why, nothing. You know, but I couldn't remember until around about that time. Like I said, I'm starting to get little vague memories back. The first 7 hours, nothing, not a damn thing. What happened next? Sorry, memories, piecing them together. You know, they're kind of scattered and all over the place. But yeah, the next thing I know, I was in searing pain again, like a lot of pain, like, oh my God, my brain is going to melt pain. Somebody's trying to chop away with it with an axe pain. I'm just like extreme pain. Corey told me that right before the pain, though, I had experienced extreme heat. My hands were blood red. I do remember the nurse saying, oh my God, your hands are blood red. Your cheeks are red, which is not uncommon for me. I have rosacea, so if I get hot or irritated or mad, my cheeks get red, you know. But my hands were just bright red. The bottom of my feet were bright red. Apparently I had red dots all over me. And at this point I'm just miserable. I'm begging for pain pills, you know, and they gave them to me. Pretty much a lot of what I remember is stuff in my IV and stuff in my, you know, to swallow. And that's, you know, over and over again. And then for some reason at some point, they moved my room. They took me out of ER into the critical care ward, or unit, or whatever you call it, the critical care. And I'm hoping that's the only bed they had together. Otherwise, they were the ones doing it. So just so you know, I had no conscious memory of getting there or what was going on when I got there. So I had no way to know what was going on with my own body. But at some point, I got really, really cold again. There was another test, but I can't remember what it was. But I got super, super cold again. I got a lot of covers, and I started getting hot again. I kept telling people I had a fever. I do remember saying I had a fever. Check me, and everyone was like, you're not hot. There's no fever. They checked it with a thermometer, too. I do remember that once. I remember at some point being able to tell them, you know, I have an ear infection and a sinus infection. I don't know if it's causing any of this, but I do. I know that at certain points, like, I would feel fine, completely fine. My head didn't hurt. My sinuses, my ear didn't hurt. The back of my neck didn't hurt. My sinuses, ear, and the back of my neck have been hurting for a while now because I did have a sinus infection or an ear infection, which I was on my last dose. I had 2 doses, I think, left of the antibiotic. So I kind of figured, even though they didn't tell me at this point, I didn't really know what was going on still. I'd been vaguely made aware that my memory has been going in and out, but I still really wasn't grasping the concept of what that meant, or how I got there. Nothing. I don't know if I told you this, but I made a Facebook post. Apparently at some point I could understand how to use my phone, but I made one that said, woke up at the hospital, don't know how I got here, LOL. I don't remember making that post at all. at all. I had made posts, after that when I had gotten better. But when I looked down at my thing, I was like, wait, I didn't make that. Oh my God, did I make that? How do you make a post and not remember making a post? But I did it. Um, it was so wild. And then a little bit later, they came in and first of all, I don't know if y'all can even see this. This woman, if I had physical capabilities, I'd have whooped her ass. I'm not even gonna lie to you. She'd have carried a whooping for that one. Whoo, that hurt so bad. I remember that. And she was not gentle either. Not even kind of, not even pretending to be. Not even, no, don't worry, it's fine. I'll be gentle. Nope. You, ooh, there's very few people in this world who I've actually wanted to beat up, and she was one of them. Maybe some bedside Mandarin would be helpful to her. I'll be right back. I gotta go pee. All right, so at some point I'd gotten really, really hungry. I mean, it'd been a long time since I'd ate. And oh, by the way, I don't remember anybody's face but one nurse. One nurse is all I remember facially at all. And there was an orderly, a male, who helped me go to the bathroom. Of course, he didn't go in the bathroom, but he helped me get up and go. And he was very kind, very sweet. I guess I looked up at him enough to know he had a goatee. That was it. That's all I noticed. Um, and he was kind, very kind. Some people were really, really kind, and some people were, but you're gonna get that. But I'm trying to remember everything because some of it's important, and I don't want to say it later and be like, well, you left that information out. It's just once I got onto the critical care floor, I remember them giving me a sponge bath. I don't like that. I know sometimes it's necessary, but damn. Stop it. I get it. One of the sponge baths I needed, though. I'm going to tell you how I needed that one. But that first one, I was like, what's going on? Why are we, what are we doing here? Um, Stop touching me. I didn't say it. Clearly, what the fuck's going on? I can do it. Um, Forgive my language, guys, because this was a harrowing experience for me, a horrifyingly horrible experience for me. And I've had two children, and I think I've said this before, but this was the most excruciating pain I have ever been put in my entire life. And I was not conscious enough to know that when I arrived at the hospital, I was in zero pain. None. There was nothing wrong with me other than my memory kept resetting. Not a single solitary thing was wrong with me. I had no physical symptoms. I was asked, and it's on my paperwork, and my husband said that I was asked multiple times, am I in pain? No. Does your head hurt because your blood pressure is high? No, I feel great. Now, last month I had headaches, and that's like a month and a half. It was bad, but it was sinus and ear infection. Um, but the headache it was severe at the time, but this was a different level of hell, okay? If it's got 7 circles, I was at the bottom of it. This was writhing in pain, screaming, oh my God, instead of just covering my eyes, going, please let the world go away. This was begging somebody to end it, literally. This was a whole other level of hell. So every time I started to feel better, it would get really bad again. It was like, okay, well, I'm all right now, I think. And then I'd be writhing in pain, hot, cold, miserable. But on the third time, and I did not consciously know what was going on until this third time that I was able to say something. And my daughter also noticed it. And thank goodness I raised a little savage. She is a big mouth like me and a smart ass like me, but an asshole like her daddy. So we got a big mouth asshole in this room now, okay, who has put 2 and 2 together. She was not there for the first round. She was there for the second, but didn't know what was going on. But on the third round, when I had started to get a little better, I was able to, the doctors did not feed me, by the way, at all. The entire time I was there, I was never offered food. Never. I was starving. My head was kind of still aching. I said, you know what, Corey, go to the vending machine. And she did. And she got me some almonds. So I ate the almonds, and the headache actually stopped instantly. I was like, oh, when I get out of here, I'm getting magnesium, potassium, and sodium. You bet your ass on that. Not real sure that was causing it, what happened, but I'm getting some, okay? And the misery I'm in, I'm like, you know what? I would be much more comfortable on my couch just dying at home. I don't care anymore. Just take me home. And honestly, I'd have said and done anything to get the hell out of there. But on this third time, I remember them coming in and giving me a blood pressure medication in an IV that was in my arm. Um, I remember this, and it was very soon after that I got so hot that it was easy to put two and two together. And I looked at my daughter and said, this isn't normal. This isn't right. And she started saying, wait a minute, every time she's had this medication, she's had this reaction. And it got really, really bad. It got way worse than the other times, apparently. And again, I vaguely remember everything else except for the pain. But I remember grabbing my head and it's like literally writhing in pain where you can't do anything. And here's the thing. Most of this entire visit, I don't sight remember. Sounds, words, people talking, people being around me, but I don't actually remember seeing it. And for a lot of this experience, my eyes were closed because of the headache. I remember being taken to something else, X-ray or something. Another nice fella working in there. But I could never take anything off my eyes. And it was kind of rude to him probably because I was in so much pain. And I remember saying, sweetheart, sit up. I need to put this board behind you. It's going to be really, really cold. Well, I'm really, really hot. So, no. But anyway, he did. It was really cold. But again, he was really polite. Then he asked me to sit up again. He had to put some kind of foam block behind me. This foam block, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it looked like. But it was the most comfortable I had been in that hospital bed at all. So anyway, he did that. He said, sit up again. I'm going to put this pillow behind you. No, you keep it. I don't want it. Are you more comfortable with that? Yes. I don't know. I was rude. I didn't mean to be. I was in pain. And I only vaguely remember those things. I mean, I'm sure I was in that room for a little while, but remember those three things and those three things only. Again, he was polite. I remember that. I don't know how I got back in the room. I don't. But I did. And at some point, and I think the chest thing happened before that. It had to have because that was a chest x-ray. So, I remember my chest hurting. I don't like to say anything about chest pain at all at a hospital because that's the only thing they focus on when it might be something else. But I told my daughter, I said, my chest kind of hurts. It wasn't no kind of about it. It hurt. It felt bad. And at some point, I remember doing this because it felt like suddenly there was not enough room in my chest for my heart and lungs. So I like went up off the bed like that, trying to like stretch my chest open so stuff wouldn't explode. My daughter starts screaming. She thought I was convulsing, and I'm like trying to wait. I'm just stretching. Hold on, I'm just stretching, trying not to scare her. But she was terrified. She was legitimately terrified. And they come in there. They're like, "We're gonna do an ultrasound of the chest, and we're gonna send you to chest X-ray." Vaguely remember those things being said, but they did say them. And the next thing I know, I'm ripping stuff off of me. There was another thing that I want to mention, but I know a lot of people don't like religion, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Take for it what you will, get rid of it what you won't. I don't care. But I called out to Jesus. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. At this point, I'm starting to holler his name. I'm starting to call for him. And just a few minutes later, I remember just ripping these cords and wires off of me, jumping up. And the bathroom was only like this far from my hand. I was reaching for the handle. Next thing I know, I'm on all fours. And I'm going to tell you something embarrassing, okay? It's very embarrassing. I have no sight of this because I don't know if I open my eyes or not. I sure as hell wasn't trying to see it. I started violently throwing up, very violently. And I think it was pretty much all almonds and fluid. There was nothing else in there anyway. So, you know, I'm puking. And this is the next day. So, and I can't stop. There's nothing in there, but I can't stop. Stuff's coming out. I don't know where it came from, but it's coming. And there are nurses, and my daughter, I'm consciously aware she's holding my hair back. She's so sweet. I don't know how she got over there in that little ass tiny room, but she did it. And she's behind me holding my hair, and there's people holding my arms and just trying to make sure I don't fall face forward. And they're starting to gag, and I can't blame them. You guys, I thought about being a nurse in my life. If your blood and guts are hanging out of you, I can sew those back in. I have no qualms about it. It won't bother me a bit. But if you throw up, I'm throwing up. I'm not gonna lie. We're just all gonna be a bunch of sick people, okay? We're just all gonna be at the trash can. Because this is how it goes. Unless it's my kids, I can seem to handle that, and grandkids. But everybody else, you start making that noise, I'm making that noise. So, and even worse, you guys, I'm a woman. For those men folks who don't want to hear this, go ahead and plug your ears real fast because it's a little bit worse. If I sneeze, I got to cross my legs to make sure I don't pee a little bit, okay? I'm a woman. I'm 45. I've had kids. This is how this works. Well, I'm down on all fours, retching my guts out, so I'm pissing on myself everywhere. I am consciously aware of that. I feel it. I am embarrassed. I am mortified. The nurses, of course, to their credit, are just like, it's okay, honey. It's okay. You just do what you got to do. And I'm farting. I'm praying I didn't. But it was like, oh my God, what's happening? My body has, abandoned me. Nothing I could do. And then, even more mortifyingly still, I had to have another sponge bath. And I had to tell the lady, look, I need to be wiped in the center. Nurses, honeys, well, some of y'all are assholes. I don't even want to talk to y'all. But the good folks out there, whoo, y'all put up with some stuff. And of course, that might be why some of y'all are assholes too. See? Legs crossed. Anyway, my belly's making weird noises. I don't think all the medication has left yet, but anyway, it turns out I arrived there just not knowing where the hell it was. I was loopy and happy. And I kind of thought the thing was funny, they said. I giggled sometimes. Corey said she'd ask me questions. I'd be like, and I would laugh, and she thought kind of sort of I was joking, but I wasn't, and I couldn't remember doing it in 3 seconds. So she's like, you seemed happy. I was like, what was to be sad about if you couldn't remember a damn thing, But the only thing I was really concerned about, where's Zach? That was, I don't remember any of that, but apparently I was still consciously aware that I had Zach right before him. And that's a good thing, even though I didn't know what year it was, and he wasn't even born by the year I thought it was. So I'm proud of me for that. I got that little pride there anyway. But it turned out the entire time, all the severe reaction I was having was not from what I was admitted for at all. It was for the medication they were putting in my veins called Hydralazine. It's a blood pressure medication. Now, the whole time they are kind of freaked out about my blood pressure, but my blood pressure is always that high. Fuck. Sorry, you guys. Look, my body's overreacting, so my brain is too. That's just how it works. But how did they not notice? How did they not notice? I can understand my husband thinking things just got worse. And I can understand the first time when you give somebody a dose of medicine. But these are the severe side effects of this medicine. And if you're going to give somebody a medication, perhaps if something changes after you give them that medication, you say, hold on a minute, let's look at the medication. Because she was happy and loopy, now she's writhing and dying, and we need to put her in critical care. You don't think you check that? And then especially on dose number 2, when it happens again. And dose number 3, when there's an extreme side effect. Now, luckily, again, right before I start throwing up and I'm screaming up at my chest, my daughter starts hollering, this medicine, don't give her that crap no more. We're going to leave. We're leaving this hospital. We're going to go to another hospital. Forget this. Y'all got to do something different. This is not working. And she starts noticing it's the medication and starts raising hell. And one of the nurses is right here. I don't know what she looked like, but I know she had short gray hair. And she's like, oh, hell, that is exactly what that medicine does. Oh, my God. She said, yeah, all of this could be caused by that. And the other nurse, I remember her hair. She had like long silver blonde hair kind of pulled back behind her head. That's all I remember of her. Well, anyway, she went and wrote down all the times that I had that medication, and all of it correlated every single step with the physical symptoms. I'm a little concerned now that they might have damaged my heart, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But first I want to get to this, because you remember I said I hollered out for Jesus. It's like, I'm not even joking, I did. And Pretty sure Save Me was behind it. I'm not too proud to tell you, but I was miserable. I would have rather been, if I had to go through that, I want to go through it at home. Okay, you just leave me alone, put me in my bathtub and leave me alone. That's all I want. But I remember one face, and I think he walked in that room with that woman because I didn't even realize it at the time. But yesterday morning, I think it was yesterday morning, I woke up and I'm like bawling my eyes out because of how much love was spewing out of this nurse. The one nurse I remember, the one face I remember. I'm not going to cry because once you get that crap started, you can't make it stop. Get back in there. But I started remembering just how much love you could feel coming off of her. And I was like in so much pain, but she had me laughing. I, I don't even know how to explain that. But anyways, a little black nurse, her name was Jessica. She had the cheeks. Her cheeks were so happy. She had short hair. She's a very sweet lady. And my daughter's like, I don't mean to be a bitch. I know it's not y'all's fault. But she said, honey, you raise hell. You're here to advocate for your mama. And I would be doing the same thing. And she said, that's what you're supposed to do. And Corey really liked her too. But anyway, she was love was just pouring out of her. You could feel it. You could feel warmth and safety just because she was in there. Sweetest lady. Nope, get back in the eyeballs. Not doing that crap. Seriously, the morning when I thought about it, I cried for like an hour and a half. So we're not, hold on, I'm going to go fix the waterworks. I'll be right back. All right, I'm under control now. But this lady, I remember her. I remember her clearly. She's the only one. But she had walked in the room and I was in so much pain. I actually asked her to end it. And I meant it. I meant it. I was serious. I was in so much pain. I meant it. And she said, no, baby. You're going to have to wait till 7 p.m. for the next shift. And I was like, I am not going to be here. But I was laughing at her. And I said, well, okay, just cut my head off. You just cut my head off, it'll all be over. She's like, no, girl, too messy. I was like, oh my God. Okay, fine. Just make it stop. But yeah, she was right there with us. And she was warm and loving. And it oozed off of her. It really just did. No other face in that hospital I remember at all. But hers was just clear as a bell and glowing. Not like light spewing out, but what people call the pregnancy or happy glow. That glow was just washed over her. And like I said, I cried for an hour and a half when I realized that. The next morning when I got out. Now let me tell you something. When that hospital doctor come in and I said, how you feel? I feel fine. I feel great. Let me out. I was not joking. Corey, she was talking about signing me out and getting somebody to come get us. Because Erin had to bring her up there. She doesn't have a driver's license. She has a permit. And she liked it that way. But anyway, no insurance. But they told her, you'll have to sign her out because she's not cognitive. And she's like, I don't care. I'll sign. And my silver tongue child, I remember very few things, but boy, she was raising hell. I was like, that's my girl. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to give you some more meta. No, you're not. No more. None. Nope. Nothing. One of the nurses up there tried 3 separate times to get me to take cholesterol medication. My cholesterol is not high. It has never really been high. There was another doctor who tried to do it one time before. And I also told, my regular doctor said, why? Your cholesterol wasn't high. I was like, right. And then I've seen my test results from this visit. My cholesterol is still not high. It makes absolutely no sense to put cholesterol medication in me whatsoever. By the way, by the time she started, I was cognitive and I was like, no, let me tell you what that shit does. And I'm sorry for all the cussing, you guys. Just put your fingers in your ears. It's just, this is a real natural response. This is real. This is real. And I cuss so much that my aunts who are very religious yell at me all the time and be like, what'd I do? Yeah, I probably said something. What's that little, there was another YouTuber. I don't even know if she's still a YouTuber anymore, but she's a little janky lady trying to lose weight too. And She'd say, I love Jesus, but I cuss a little. I love Jesus, but I cuss a lot. You know, but yeah, I was just, it was, what was hardest of all to comprehend was that I arrived there loopy, but in zero pain. And at some point, I was begging to be unalived. Okay. I mean, like, and I meant it. I'm not even joking. I fully meant it. And I told my husband, before you take me back there, you let me down on the floor. Okay. You just, right here. At least I'll be at home. Okay. No more. The only medication I allowed them to give me after that was nausea medicine because my stomach felt really weird. But I do think that most of the liquid that landed on the floor, I don't know if it even works that way, to be honest with you, because I think that goes in your veins. But it was so much liquid, there's no way I had that much liquid in my stomach. So I think most of it was medication. But I do know after I expelled most of it, shortly thereafter, I could see and remember seeing. They did the chest x-ray and the, oh gosh, I think it's ECG. Is that the right one? Because they did the ECG 3 different times. Both of the first 2 were completely normal. Nothing of importance, nothing to note. The third one, after I'd had that extreme pain in my chest, it did show some stuff. Stuff that can be like a mini heart attack kind of deals, or potentially dangerous down the road. So I'm hoping the medication didn't cause any long-term effects. But that last ECG wording kind of scares me. I have made an appointment with my regular doctor to go over the 3 ECGs with her, and make sense of it. Is it short term? Is it something that's going to be a problem down the road? Was it just because at that moment something was going on? I just want to get some clarity on that because I know very little about those. By the way, to you ladies that give those ECGs, or men, that shit hurts. There is nothing pleasant ramming a little thingy against the rib cage at all. Whew, not pleasant. More pleasant than that headache was, more pleasant than throwing up on the floor, more pleasant than the actual chest pain, don't get me wrong. But ouch! And to that lady, I hope you get decked in the face. What in the world? One part of me wants to let all this go and just never ever go back. Okay, never ever go back. The other part of me wants to raise pure hell because there's no way that medication should have been put in my veins 3 different times. After the first one, I can understand after the first time not maybe putting 2 and 2 together, thinking that whatever was wrong with me was getting worse. I can understand that. But when I started to come around again and get back to normal again, and you put that in my veins again, and all hell breaks loose again, could you not maybe go, Now, see, I give my daughter leadway for it, and my husband too, because he was there for the first time. He wasn't there for the second. My daughter wasn't there for the first time. She was there for the second. So I get why they wouldn't have put 2 and 2 together. But when I got the second dose in front of my daughter, she's like, wait a damn minute. And again, a nurse actually said, I think you're right. And she went herself and wrote down the times that I'd had the medication. This is the paper that she wrote it on. And she gave it to my daughter. The medication is called Hydralazine. And one thing that really, really upset me about this whole thing is when I looked at my after summary discharge paperwork. They wrote Hydralazine, red rash, mild. Y'all, they ain't nothing damn mild about that. There was nothing mild about that. And I emailed my regular doctor right away when I saw it. And I said, look, this is what happened and what that medication did. And I don't want some doctor in the future going, well, her blood pressure's a little high. It gives her a mild red rash. But we can deal with the mild red rash. Go ahead and give it to her. I don't want that to happen. So I told my doctor, and she said that she updated my medical chart to include much more, or more, to make sure it doesn't happen again anyway. Because, I mean, if I'm a doctor and your blood pressure is really, really high, and I think, well, that gives you a mild blood rush, but it'll bring it down, I might say, okay, it's okay. I don't even know what they can do with that. I don't know if it's on there and therefore they can never give it to you again. But I want to know mistakes to be made. I am sorry this video is super long, but I have not been around to do videos in a while. Now, let's talk about the memory thing. So the memory thing, which is why I was put in there in the first place, is global transit global anemia, which is very rare and happens to people usually once, maybe twice in an entire lifetime. They don't know what causes it, but they think it could be migraine. What was it? High blood pressure. Yeah, me. Most likely, probably. And there was another, stress, which, okay, wait. In the last month, I've had all three. We can check all the boxes. So there's no telling. Could be either or. Now, the reason I mentioned the sausage earlier is because when I found out I had high blood pressure when I was 27, that day I'd had 2 sausage biscuits. And I remember saying over and over, something's not right. Something's not right. It was like I was going in and out of focus. Not that I was losing my memory, and I don't think I did. But I went straight over to my doctor, and he's like, woohoo, your blood pressure high. I was like, ugh. But now here's the thing. It didn't actually cause it. What had caused my blood pressure to get high like that, well, it caused it to spike. But what had caused my blood pressure to get high just a few months before that was they had switched me from one type of birth control pill to another type of birth control pill, which, by the way, is no longer on the market. Can't imagine why. But that's when we discovered my blood pressure was high. And I also got pregnant and lost it. I don't like doctors. I don't want no part of them. And that makes it really hard to tell my mother she needs to take her damn pills. Because at the same time all this was going on, she lost her again too. But hers is a whole different thing. Now look here. I hate saying that at the same time me and my mother are both having mental issues, because it makes it just sound like the whole damn family's mental. Might be, but that's not the point. Hers is a whole different thing. Hers, for one, she is a paranoid schizophrenic, but she also has a heart issue that stops oxygen from getting to her brain, and she needs to take one specific pill for heart failure to function. So like I said, at the same time that I'm having issues, my mother's having issues, and then with the paranoid schizophrenia, it's got a lot to do with doctors, which I'm trying to explain to her. You're right, they suck, and it's not necessarily the doctors, it's the science, and it's this, that, and the other. And I hope this video don't get demonetized, but whatever. It's the truth. I'm sorry. I went in with memory issues, okay? I damn near died. I ended up on the critical care floor. Call it what you want. I don't know. And I keep trying to tell myself, maybe they just didn't have another bed. Because it seems like, I guess the medication effects made it seem like I was in critical care. But seriously, when it wore off, I was alert and I was fine. Now, the global transit, the amnesia, my husband was already told by the neurologist that most likely that's what it was. It's not caused by stroke, but some people with stroke do have that. But they check for stroke. I had every medical test you can imagine. I cannot even fathom this hospital bill, okay? Because I know I had 3 ECGs. I know I had a chest x-ray, an MRI, a CT, 2 CTs, I think. I don't really know. Those were before everything came back, but I know I was told about them. I had a ton of blood work done. And by the way, my blood work is pretty freaking excellent. There's a couple things. The white blood cell count is high, but it's not actually uncommon for me. Plus, I had just had like ear infection and sinus infection and still had 2 more pills to take before this all happened. So, I don't really know what happened. I know what I was told. And I know that, like I said, I can tick all 3 boxes of what could cause transit global anemia. And the fact that I had 4 sausage patties that morning, and the last time I had 2, which, when I found out I had high blood pressure, I'd had 2 and something wasn't right. I'm thinking maybe it's a spike in blood pressure from sausage patties. Maybe. I don't know. But I also know there's something else. there's a keto thing. So you guys know that I have been in and out of ketosis. I've been trying to get right, failing, trying to get right, and failing. Now, every time you go into ketosis, you're going to pee a lot, like a lot. By the way, while I was up there, I couldn't remember going to pee, but I told the nurse over and over again I had to pee, and I spent a lot of time in the bathroom because of it. And I do remember at the end, make sure she gets back. Make sure she gets back, because I had no idea where I was, and going into the bathroom might have wandered off. So I had to be babysit. But that was like the last 2 or 3 times before my memory started to return. But make sure she gets back. And I remember walking into the room one time, and I don't remember what I said, but I remember my daughter said, "Yeah, Mom." So I'd asked, "Is this the right room? Are you sure?" But I was laughing. I was smiling. I didn't know what was going on. So, I'm goofy like that. Anyway, if we just have a conversation, it's going to be mostly laughter and giggle, regardless of what's going on, unless I'm in pain, then you go know about that. So, this is a long video, but this is what happened. And ever since, I've avoided sausage like the plague. Not sure it caused any problems, but just because there was a correlation between an event before and this one, we just gonna leave sausage patties alone, okay? I love it. It tastes yummy, and it should be keto, but there might be some additives or something in there going on. I don't know. So we gonna avoid the sausage patties. It's just one more food to avoid, and we gonna stay in ketosis because damn. I don't know if going in and out caused it, but I do know that my potassium level was very low. I don't see my magnesium yet, but I need to go back through. But even if the magnesium test is not that good, it doesn't really tell you adequately what's going on. So as soon as we left and I was able to, we went to Wally World. We grabbed some magnesium, some potassium, and some Mediterranean salt. Just put a couple crystals on my tongue, you know, here and there. Just to be on the safe that I'm not harming myself with electrolytes, because some of those things can cause memory loss. I don't know to that degree if they can do that, but in the off chance it is that, and the fact that I've been cycling in and out so much that my potassium was low, just the best idea, and maybe I should just take it all the time, especially until I've gotten into a good state and stay there. Because right now, I'm scared. I don't want that to ever happen again, and the doctor said it most likely will never ever happen again, and it has actually happened to my dad one time before. And here's the thing, my kids were little, so he would have probably been about 45 years old when it happened. Hi, 45. But like he had went to work one day, and he worked for himself. He ran a siding business all my life. That's what he did, siding and roofing, not roofing, siding and windows and doors. But he can build a house from ground up, electrical, plumbing, everything. So all my life he did that. He went to work with one of my cousins, which my cousins are much older than me, most of them. So this cousin is about his age because his dad has 12 kids, and their kids had kids that were around his age too. So he went to work with one of my cousins, and I think my brother-in-law. And later in the evening, he got home and he said, "Where have I been? How did I get here?" He did not know. And he had left the job site pretty early after getting irritated with one of them and slinging something at their heads. I don't know if they deserved it. They might have. But anyway, he got irritated and he left and had no memory of where he had been to then until he got home, and did not really know how he got home. But as long as you've lived somewhere a long time, if you're in a car and you're headed that way, you probably can know to keep going towards home, because you probably want to get home if you don't know where you're going or whatever. The good news is, apparently, I was surrounded by people that were paying attention. I don't know what the hell happened. And I'm a little nervous to go off by myself. Again, this may never, ever, ever, ever happen again. Most likely will never happen again. But I've got anxiety now about like getting in the car and going to the store, or being in Walmart by myself. You turn around. What if you don't remember you have one of your grandchildren with you? What if you're waiting outside the bathroom and you don't remember they're in there, and you wander off? I mean, so I'm a little bit intimidated, nervous, anxious about it. A little freaked out about it, to be honest with you. I don't know. At home, yeah, I might not recognize my own crap, but at least I'm at home, you know. And if I wander off, it'll probably be into the yard where somebody will find me, hopefully. uh, it's an anxiety. That's the first 2 days I was home. I was a little scared to go to the bathroom. What if I came out of that sucker and I couldn't remember where I was again? But I went, obviously. Um, yeah, all of this. The only thing it's done was gave me some anxiety and put my ass right back on keto. No. Corey's like, what if you don't remember keto? But the good news is of all your videos, I can sit you down in front of because that's clearly where you need to be. And you can listen to yourself tell you what to do. Well, I guess that's good if I can remember it more than 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, seriously, if I don't got no memory, I'd be like, I'm hungry. Here, Mom. Here's a burger. Don't eat it with the bun. What? I couldn't imagine. Because me from I started keto in 2017. Me from 2012 would probably be like, are you on crack? No. I mean, I don't even know if it was 20. I don't know because it seems like if I knew it or thought it was 2012, I would know who the president in 2012 was. But that's just me, and I don't really know. But like I said, they asked you a bunch of questions. They say that's related to your life or that everybody should know easily. Have you ever been through witnessed similar from a loved one? What about hydralazine? Are any of you allergic to that or had any? I'm curious, what kind of reactions? Have you ever had reactions, severe reactions to a medication? I know I'm not alone in this at all, but at the moment, I feel like that. The good news is my ear don't hurt no more. I can't remember everything that was said and done. I pretty much told y'all most of what I remember. That little lady, Jessica, the little nurse or CNA, I don't know what she was. If I had $1 million, I'd give her 500,000. I'm not kidding. She meant a lot. She really did. And it felt nice. And I hope many people get to experience Jessica or Jessica likes. And again, some of my other nurses were really kind too. I can't remember them. I can't see their faces. There were 3 males there: the MRI tech, the X-ray tech, and I guess orderly. I really don't know, but they were all very, very kind too. I got called sweetheart a lot and honey a lot, so I really appreciate all the love and kindness that they showed, and that was great. Again, one of them, oh boy, good thing I can't remember her face. I see her out in public, we're gonna fight. But it's cool. I don't remember what she looks like, so she's safe, right? Have y'all ever had that experience? Now, it's not uncommon for them to bruise anyway, even if it's not rough. But that was like, girl, have you ever done this before? Get off the bone. What you doing? Sorry, I'm full of complaints right now because I am like shocked by what happened. I don't know what my son wants. Oh, he's telling about mama. Okay. So I'm back on keto. I'll do a weigh-in in a couple of days. Probably I need to start getting back in the habit of this. I definitely do. Because at one time I was uploading a lot with nothing having changed. And I got tired of uploading videos saying the same thing over and over. But it helped me a lot because it kept me a lot more focused on it and not having to get on here and tell y'all, guess what I did today? I'd rather get on here and say, woohoo! It's not always going to happen, but yeah, this has been part of my week. Believe it or not, today and a couple other times, my week has been even more insane, but this video is already an hour long. No telling how long it's going to take to upload. So I'm going to shut my mouth right here and say, we'll do an update. I promise I'm here, mostly. I have forgotten my cell phone password numerous times. But for the most part, everything's back and functioning, I think. Anyway, shut up, Joni. How have you guys been doing? I hope your Valentine's Day is good. I'm going to try to talk Covey into taking me for steak, but I don't know if we can afford it. But if we can, that is keto friendly, y'all. Steak and collard greens keto friendly. sometimes a little iffy about the collard greens because they're really good, and usually something's really good. It's not, but that's what I want. I mean, it's Valentine's Day, right? Not necessarily means that means, oh, might as well make it a whole hour. Ain't it pretty? Corey gave me these. She bought them for herself. She always buys herself flowers, never has a place to put them and nothing to put them in. I don't know why she can't just say, here, Mama brought you flowers. But they're always for her. Oh, something touched me. Probably a leaf. It's all right, I'm sure. And then this one was from Raina. She got me that for Valentine's. Nick and Raina have been over here with Beans a lot too over the last couple of days to make sure Zachary is not leaving my side for nothing in the world. I even took him home. And the next day, you guys, the next day, I get a, hey, Johnny, Zach's stomach's hurting real bad. He says he can't stand it. Will you take him to the doctor? Because Destiny's working. Brian has a vehicle that's too small to put all the kids in right now. They're getting another one here in a week or so because their little Kia thingy went poof. But I picked Zach up by myself. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little anxious to go anywhere by myself yet. But I did. I was like, okay, well, Zach's 10. He can at least say, Mama, this is what's happening. Mama, pull over. Mama, let me call 911. So Zach's 10. He can do more if need be. So anyway, took him. Got in the urgent care parking lot. Put the car in park. He's like, my belly feels better. Hey, can we get a KFC? You sure? Uh-huh. I farted. Okay. So I took him to KFC. Got him what he wanted to eat. Brought him home. Zach has some bowel issues. So I gave him his medicine for that. He's been fine ever since. He just refuses to go home. He refuses to go anywhere because I just got to the hospital. And I guess he wants to babysit. He's snoring, by the way. But he's babysitting me. All right. 57 minutes. Do I want to make it a complete hour? No, I don't. All right, you guys. If you guys need anything about keto, holler. My contact information is below. I'm going to try to stay on the straight and narrow. And I'm going to try to avoid sauces just in case. Definitely going to try to avoid any and all hospitals, doctors, nurses, anything. Not that they were all bad. I'm just saying. Because I had some sweet ones and the one I wanted to punch in the nose. And all the people who didn't notice, I'd like to punch them in the nose. But, you know, it's okay. That's it. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you guys have a great time. Okay, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. I am not going to cheat. There will be no candy unless it's sugar-free and just one piece because that makes you poop. But anyway, no, I'm good. I am so good. I don't want no medication. I'm never going to bitch about my lisinopril again. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm just going to take it and shut the hell up and be done with it because at the end of the day, that's what actually brought my blood pressure down anyway because that other medicine was just making me worse. So, yeah, just going to take it and shut the hell up. Just go do it. I've been on it for years. It doesn't kill me. That other one, though, Hydralazine. Never want to hear that one again. Much love. Many prayers. Shut the hell up, Johnny. Happy Valentine's. Bye, y'all.